Welcome back. This is Live at 1. Education Cabinet Secretary Professor Jacob Kaimenyi has today launched an education stakeholders meeting on curriculum reform at the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development in Nairobi. It is the first time since 2002 that the education sector has undertaken any review of the circular for basic and tertiary education. The vetting of curriculum and support materials is intended to ensure that the content is age-appropriate, relevant, nurtures talent, and reinforces skills development.
The reason why we increased the competition for primary school by 39% and day secondary schools by 33% is precisely to address certain concerns either two unaddressed. And some of them, for example, is really the funding of science and technology. We must be seen to do that, to fund it, to promote science and technology from primary schools up to university level. That hasn't been done before in terms of.
Moving on, controversy now surrounds the recent ban on fishing in Lake Naivasha. Whereas the Nakuru County government banned fishing to pave way for stocking, local residents are opposed to the move on the grounds that there was sufficient fish in the lake. Local fishermen are claiming that if affected, the ban would affect the livelihood of over 1,000 families that are relying on fishing. Lisa Nyango has the details.
The ban was supposed to start from the 1st of June to 30th of June to allow stocking in the lake.
And we've consulted as the people of Naivasha, the fisher community and the county government, and we've agreed that we need to review this ban on fishing. There is also scientific evidence to show that the fish stock has increased, and we wish that that report be documented.
Not only the fishers who have been affected by this, also those who are doing the tourism business on this lake, because
the ban was imposed by the Nakuru County government. But this ban is not being received well by the local community who are relying on fishing for their daily bread.
Production iko juu. This is the first time unapata kwamba ziwa imeenea kabisa. So production pia iko juu, si kama miaka zilizopita ambapo tulikuwa tuna target aina moja samaki. Kwa wakati huu tilapia ziko, black bass ziko. So generally production is very, very high.
Lakini wakati huu wavuvi wote waliamua kwa kauli moja hati hatutafunga ziwa. Samaki ni mingi, wamekubali kulinda ziwa, wamekubali mpaka kuongeza samaki kwenye ziwa. Na tayari tumechanga pesa kama wavuvi ya kufanya restock of the lake.
Addressing fishermen at Karagita Beach, Naivasha Member of Parliament John Kihagi said he had contacted senior county officials who had agreed to suspend the ban, noting it had outlived its purpose. Liz Anyango, Live at 1.
Welcome back. Let's now talk business. And Nyeri County has signed an agreement with Kenyatta International Conference Center, KICC, in a bid to devolve business tourism in the county. The MOU with KICC will see Nyeri County marketed as a business tourism destination for conferences and exhibitions. The MOU between the KICC and Nyeri County comes on the back of increasing interest in Kenya as a conference tourism destination, with Nairobi ranked as the second best conference tourism destination after Cape Town in South Africa.
The Kenyatta International Convention Center has begun the process of devolving business tourism, the bulk of which is currently enjoyed by the Nairobi County. KICC is part of a committee that was tasked with developing and promoting conference tourism in strategic counties across the country.
MICE is actually the next frontier for growth. This is a growth area that accounts for 22% growth internationally. And we are certain that if our key strategic counties take advantage of this very nice growth sector, that is the meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions, we are going to see a trickle-down effect.
Nyeri County becomes the first county to sign the MOU with KICC, and what will see the county be marketed as a conference and exhibition destination. The MOU will add on to the process of developing a bid document that will highlight specific features that counties can use to market themselves as tourist destinations.
We already have had a meeting in Nairobi with our diaspora, the people from Nyeri who are in Nairobi and Mombasa, and I have floated the idea of partnering with this county and the local investors here to actually see whether we can actually come up with the necessary funds to do these support facilities here.
The country's leisure tourism product has been on the decline in recent months due to incidences of insecurity and travel advisories from key source tourism markets. Promoting business tourism is one of the ways in which Kenya is seeking to diversify its tourism product as it seeks to capitalize on domestic tourists along with high-end international tourists. Bella Genga, Citizen Live at 1.
Thank you, Bella. Meanwhile, dairy farmers contracted by local dairy processor Brookside Dairies are set to benefit from a 5-shilling increment in milk prices. The dairy processor says it will be paying dairy farmers 35 shillings per kilogram of milk delivered. According to Brookside's general manager John Gethi, the increment is as a result of higher retail milk and dairy products prices coupled with improved milk production. The dairy processor says farmers will continue to enjoy favorable prices as long as the current production conditions remain stable. Brookside, which is the largest milk processor in the country by market share, has over 160,000 contracted dairy farmers.
The company arrived at this decision as one way of passing on the benefit of the improved business environment direct to the farmer. The adjustment of market dynamics has really been the main reason behind this. We are optimistic that barring any unforeseen jolts like bad weather and things like that, we are optimistic that these prices will remain effective for a much longer duration.
Moving on, global food prices have gone up by 4% over the last couple of months, a factor that could destabilize some regions across the world. According to a World Bank report on global food price, high cost of basic commodities could spark off political unrest reminiscent of the 2007-2008 food riots.
In a report released by the World Bank, prices of wheat and maize have spiked despite continued projections of record grain harvests. The increase is due in part to global weather conditions known as El Nino.
In this issue of the Food Price Watch, we find that prices of international food have gone up by 4% between January and April 2014, which is the first increase observed in the last 18 months. The prices of wheat and maize have gone up sharply, and this is because of increases in import demand as well as weather issues.
However, domestic prices in parts of Africa remained mostly stable. Between January and April 2014 in West Africa and Southern Africa. Eastern Africa has, however, seen an increase in cereal prices as food availability from previous harvests dwindles.
We have to be vigilant about the increase of food prices because we have known for a long time that conflict leads to food insecurity, but we are now evidence that food insecurity can also lead to conflict. So we have to be vigilant that these food price increases, if they were to continue, may have consequences on political instability, especially in Africa and South and East Asia.
Increasing weather concerns, import demand and uncertainty associated with the Ukraine crisis explain most of the global price increases. These increases have taken place despite bumper crops in 2013 and continued projections of record grain harvests and stronger stocks expected for 2014.
As tourism now, and hotel and lodge operators are looking to cash in on the wildebeest migration season after a period of uncertainty sparked off by travel advisories from Kenya's key tourist source markets. A number of tourists from America and Australia seem to have defied their government's travel advisories issued last month to witness the annual wildebeest migration at the Masai Mara Game Reserve. Business in the area is expected to pick up as tourists arrive to watch the thousands of wildebeest cross into Kenya from the Tanzania Serengeti Game Reserve at the end of next month.
Been looking forward towards July, picking up for the migration period. We're looking at prospect time, looks promising, and we hope that if the situation maintains the way it is and we have security, we'll surely have good turnouts. Looking forward from July.
Kenya, I always wanted to see Kenya, and I think it's one of the most untouched of places. So I'm here to see the wilderness and the nature.
This is my second time to Nairobi, to Kenya. I don't feel any worse than I did last time that I was here. I feel just as secure and safe. And frankly, we got issues in the United States. You know what I mean? So I feel as safe here as I feel at home.
Well, moving on to the forex counters now, the Kenya shilling recouped its losses against the world's major currencies during the mid-morning trading today as the central bank mopped up liquidity in the currency market. Against the dollar, the shilling was quoted at an indicative rate of 87 shillings and 49 cents buying and 87 shillings and 64 cents selling to the dollar. The currency has lost about 1.7% against the dollar this year, and traders expected to trade between the range of 87 shillings and 20 cents and 88 shillings this week. Further afield, the shilling recorded an upturn against the major European currencies, gaining 14 cents to the euro to exchange at 119 shillings and 11 cents buying and 52 cents to the sterling pound to trade at 146 shillings and 30 cents. On the regional front, the local unit extended its gains to both the Uganda and Tanzanian shillings to change hands at 19 shillings and 8 cents versus the Tanzanian unit and at 29 shillings and 15 cents against the Ugandan shillings. And that's business. Time now for sports with Bernard. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. How are you?
Counting days till the World Cup.
8 days.
8 days to
as
go.
it is. Next week on Saturday, we'll be on the eve of the FIFA World Cup. It seems like it was only just a few years ago, like we had the FIFA
just
World
the
Cup
other day
in
South Africa. And I hear the opening will be ground, almost 6 hours of the opening ceremony.
I'm not sure about the details as far as the opening ceremony is concerned, but definitely it's something they have to do that has to be a spectacle compared to what South Africa showcased the world in 2010 at Soccer City. So this time around, we're keen to see what the Brazilians are planning to organize as far as the opening ceremony is concerned. But just to update you, another team has already arrived in Brazil ahead of the World Cup. Some of the teams are heading there. We do know that 32 teams will be participating. So one of the teams that is competing is already in Brazil.
There were many concerns about security and all that stuff. They're saying that, the country, Brazil, is not ready for the World Cup. How has this come?
Well, of course, as the president of Brazil stated, that which country is ever ready? These are challenges you have to face. The challenges that you have to face.
Well, let me know, start asking questions. Give it to us.
Of course, coming up with sports in just a moment, I'll be telling you which other team has just arrived in Brazil, ready to samba.